when I talked about the New York Jets in my season preview for them back in July, I was kind of a little bit optimistic about them. I was looking at them thinking that this could be a season where they could really break out because of what they did in the offseason last year. They improved in some key areas like the offensive line, and the defense got a lot better, especially with the 4th overall pick in the secondary when they drafted corner Ahmad Sauce Gardner. He was a really good defender in pass coverage and could really generate some turnovers in college. Of course, the NFL is a much different game, but it seemed like he can really carry over that, transition that well in the NFL. But of course, there was that one big question. If you were a fan of the Jets, what about Zach Wilson? What about their second-year quarterback? He was entering year 2 of his NFL career. And, he showed a few promising signs late in his rookie season. He did okay in passing situations. He did okay throwing the ball to his receivers. But after the investments that the front office made, including drafting a receiver for him in Garrett Wilson, is now on Zach Wilson to show some signs he can live up to that billing, being the 2nd overall pick. And for the Jets, they got off to a pretty good start. They started 6-3 in the first half of the season before their bye week. And that 6-3 stretch included upset wins over the Packers and the Buffalo Bills. And that Bills win was no fluke. Like, they did really damn good in that game. The defense didn't let up a lot of passing yards, running plays, and the offense. Rookie running back Breece Hall did really well in most of that stretch, and Garrett Wilson was a good receiver. But yes, and that's a big what. Not that way though. The problem for the Jets though, a lot of that was in spite of the quarterback. Yes. Zach Wilson actually missed the first 3 games of the season because of a leg injury in the Jets' first preseason game. And then when Zach Wilson did come back to play, he looked very lost in nearly every snap. He couldn't read defenses. Like, he couldn't read the coverages. He didn't know where to throw the ball to. And when he did, he either overthrew his receivers or he turned the ball over. He was like averaging a turnover. He was averaging an interception each and every game. And when the offensive line broke down at times, he just ate the sack. It's like, you can't have that if you're Zach Wilson or the Jets or Robert Saleh. So when rookie running back Breece Hall went down with an ACL tear in week 7 against, I think it was the Patriots, so did the rest of the offense. It pretty much put even more pressure on Zach Wilson to perform. And he didn't really do that. So for as good as the defense was, when you have a strong defense like a pass rush with Quinn Williams leading the charge, and a secondary that has linebacker CJ Mosley and Sauce Gardner living up to the potential, it's like the offense still can't do anything. Zach Wilson was still performing pretty badly. It ended up ruining what was a breakout season for them. It could have been a breakout season for them, but of course, the quarterback situation was bad. It was just really bad for them. Wilson ended up getting benched after a pretty poor performance in New England in week 11, and he didn't take any accountability for it. He was just like, no, I don't think I didn't do enough to help the team win, not help the team do better. And it's like, that shows like he doesn't care about getting better. It shows that he doesn't care about, taking accountability for his actions. So, of course, they go back to Mike White. And sure, he won against the Bears, but then what happened after that? He couldn't thread the needle like he did last season. So White and Wilson traded the starting jobs in the Jets' last few games of the season. But then Joe Flacco would come in the season finale when the Jets were already eliminated from postseason concession. So it's like, oh man, this Jets QB situation is like, ugh. It's like slime. it's like Nickelodeon slime. It's like, what do you do from here? So they finished 7-10. Not only do they finish with the losing record, but they were dead last in the division again. Like, man, that's really disappointing for Robert Saleh and the Jets. And it just raises even more questions if you're the Jets. And what do you do with Zach Wilson? Do you look for another quarterback this offseason? Like, do you stick with Zach Wilson? And if you do look for another quarterback, the quarterback that you're trying to get is now in New Orleans in Derek Carr. So where do you go from there? What's your next option at QB? So for Robert Saleh, it's like, what do? You at least replace your offensive coordinator in Mike LaFleur. I don't know why. But now it's like you replace them with a Hackett of a former head coach in Nathaniel Hackett. Did you not see how he did in Denver? Like, come on, man. So, I don't know. Let's just see how it pans out with the quarterback position. I'm just like, damn Jets fans. It's like, I don't know what's going on over there in that situation. But the important thing is for the Jets is that not only do they have to address the QB situation, which is top priority, they have to figure out like who to keep, because they, at the time of this recording, they don't have much cap space. They have to find a way to clear some cap space because they're like negative $1 million in cap space. So they've already released Braxton Berrios, which I imagine doesn't really thread the needle in terms of clearing that money in the red. So they got to find a way to get under the salary cap. And when you look at some of their key free agents like Vinny Curry, linebacker Quincy Williams, LaMarcus Joyner at free safety, guard Laurent Duvernay-Tardif, and tackle George Fant, center Connor McGovern, that's a lot of key free agents at the offensive line. So you got to pick one or two or the other to stay. And it's not going to be easy for the Jets because you don't have a lot of money to spend. But the most obvious thing to do for the Jets is you got to find a quarterback. You have to find a quarterback because if year two of this, whatever you're doing, whatever it's a rebuild or like trying to make the postseason, didn't pan out with Zach Wilson, then you got to find a quarterback. And well, you missed out on Derek Carr. So your best bet is probably, really, Jimmy Garoppolo, or in the slightest chance, going out and shelling out 2 first-round picks for Lamar Jackson. Maybe. But other than that, you got to go get a new left tackle because the interior of the offensive line, or the exterior of the offensive line, was a lot left to be desired. That position was attacked pretty frequently. And then, of course, reinforcing the secondary is also good too. But the most important thing is the Jets have to get a quarterback once the new league year starts. A new offensive coordinator in Daniel Hackett is not enough, especially considering he flopped big time in Denver. But getting a veteran quarterback that not only can take advantage of the talent possessed by Robert Saleh is important. And maybe even mentoring Zach Wilson. Maybe giving him an attitude adjustment, John Cena style. But if the Jets can't do that, then expect more of the same from Gang Green coming this fall. And, of course, I guess that's what Jets fans really expect the most. And they're going to be chanting it all year long. Jets football!